I was a model for New York Fashion Week. So, about 2 weeks ago now, I got to be a model for the Runway of Dreams fashion show, and this is for models that have disabilities. Super exciting to be able to, one, be around the disability community and just be able to meet people that come from different experiences, different backgrounds. Some people had been on, huge runways before, and some, this was their first time. In my case, it was my first time being in a show like this. So I got there on the 9th to New York. This is my first time being in New York, so that was so hype. I went to New York, me and my dad went. I was supposed to go with my fiance, however, she was sick at that time, and we were actually supposed to be in the show together. However, it was just me who was able to go. Anyway, I got there on September 9th, and I actually stayed there until the 14th because the show was on the 13th, which meant that I got to experience New York. And what did I do in New York? One, I got myself a new watch. I got myself an Invicta to add to my collection. I really love watches, so had to do it. I also got to experience Times Square and be in Manhattan. I went to Junior's to have cheesecake, and I also got to experience the pizza places that are down there. And oh man, it's just, you can't ask for a better time, right? You just can't ask for a better time. There were so many good food places, so many different experiences, and New York is its own place, right? New York is just a completely different experience from where I'm at and, where I'm used to. So I definitely will say that there's just different types of people and different things that you can do in New York that you can't do where I'm at either. It's a very free place. There was a guy that was like the naked cowboy or something like that, and so that was very interesting, and people just singing and in costumes and all those kind of things. So it was a really fun time. Now, being in the fashion show, right? Oh my goodness, man, that was the coolest experience. One, I got to interview with People Magazine. They quoted me in their digital article on their website. I also was featured in some other articles for other outlets, just saying that I was one of the notable participants in the fashion shows. And of course, there were very talented individuals that were in this, people that are doing really great things that happen to have disabilities. This is actually an organization that is owned by Mindy Shire. She is the founder of Runway of Dreams, and she's also the founder of Gamut Management, who manages talent with disabilities. Really an amazing experience just to be able to meet everybody who was a part of it, and there were so many volunteers that were there for the show. And the after party was super awesome because I cleaned up nice. Y'all know I'm super into fashion. It was just an amazing experience being at the after party, being able to interact with some of the brands because there were so many people that came from different brands. I was actually representing Kohl's in the fashion show, and actually for this fashion show, Victoria's Secret displayed and showed their adaptive line. So there were just so many things that happened, and this show has been so impactful. There has been a lot of content that's been going viral on the internet. The things that's been going viral, the fact that woman who is actually an ambulatory wheelchair user, which is someone that may have to use a wheelchair from time to time, or they may use it the majority of their experience and can walk short distances or whatever. She stood up out of her chair, and there was just an uproar and that kind of thing. People with disabilities can look different, and disability doesn't look the same. Just because someone uses a wheelchair doesn't mean that they always have to use a wheelchair. There could be multiple reasons why they're using a chair, and really it's none of your business. If they're in the show, they're there because they have a disability. Like, everybody that was in this particular show has some sort of disability. So trust and believe. She wasn't faking it or whatever. She's disabled, and that's what it is. I thought it was an amazing moment. It's just so interesting seeing people talk about this experience, talking about models with disabilities, and representation is so important. Now, for me personally, I just am looking forward to being part of any runway show. I just think that fashion should be inclusive. So anyway, I of course had an amazing experience. I'm so glad that I was able to be a part of this show. I was able to meet so many incredible individuals, and it ranged when it came to ages. There were kids, there were adults, of course, and there were even people that were elderly. That was so cool, and it really was awesome. The different types of individuals that were there, even though we all had some form of a disability, still were able to come together as one and just have a great time. So, for the show, it was a really long day actually. We had 2 days. So, one day was for the fitting, which is where we were obviously getting our fitting for the clothes and they were going to be altered. And then the second time that we got together was for the actual day of the show, and we did rehearsal twice. And then we ate and did all that throughout the day, got to interact, and then it was time to do the show. And then, of course, like I mentioned, the after party, they had hors d'oeuvres and all that kind of stuff. And then there was an exhibit that happened. I was already going back home. However, there was an exhibit that happened that showed like the adaptive clothing and different brands that were a part of the fashion show that you got to see. So just really cool stuff. I think it's so powerful that there are opportunities like this, and I'm definitely grateful that I got to be a model for New York Fashion Week. I'm looking forward to that being a regular thing. So I just wanted to go ahead and update y'all and talk about my experience. It was really dope. It was awesome, and I was able to meet some incredible. It was really awesome, and I was able to meet some incredible people. Let me know your thoughts, though. If you have any questions about New York Fashion Week or my time in New York, or just what it's like being a part of a fashion show like this, let me know. Peace out.